And it's time right now as we pick up and continue the original Solid Gold weekend, the 50s, 60s, and the 70s. The Teddy Bears, 1958. James Taylor and Shower the People You Love with Love. Before that, Gordon Lightfoot, If You Could Read My Mind. It is coming up on 4 o'clock. You're listening to Radio Kingston, 1490 WKNY Kingston, online radiokingston.org. We're back, the original Solid Gold weekend, as we move into the doo-wop portion of our show for the next 2 hours. Take you back to the doo-wop years of rock and roll, the 50s, the early 60s, all those terrific group harmonies, those great street groups, and all your requests, too. Request lines open, 331-1490. Coming up later on in the hour, we have Sonia Wilson with us. Sonia, one of the original founding members of the Chantels, best known for their million-seller Maybe back in the late 50s, many other great songs as well. Sonia will be with us. We'll chat with her. They're still out performing. We'll talk about the career of the Chantels. She'll be with us at 4:30. And later on this afternoon, your chance to win. We have Name That Oldie. And let's begin the hour with Dante and the Evergreens. When I woke up this morning, I took a quick look, and you were not there. It's the bop chords off my doo-wop request line, 7 after 4. The original Solid Gold weekend right here. It's a Saturday afternoon, Labor Day weekend. Hope you're having a great day, great weekend. And we're here to play all those great doo-wop memories from the 50s, the early 60s. Doo-wop request lines, of course, 331-1490. Visiting later on this hour, Sonia Goring-Wilson, one of the original founding members of the all-girl group, one of the first all-girl groups of all time back in the 50s, the Chantels, famous for hits like Maybe, their million-seller, follow-ups like I Love You So and Look in My Eyes, and many others as well. Sonia Goring-Wilson from the Chantels, my guest later on this hour. And let's go to that request line. Yeah, there was doo-wop in Detroit back in the 50s. Detroit doo-wop group called the Royal Holidays, a song called I'm Sorry. 1956, group called the Monarchs and Pretty Little Girl. Come on, let's go steady now. 14 minutes after 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. It's the first day of September, the original Solid Gold weekend. Hey, there's a block party going on, the Midtown Kingston block party this afternoon into this evening, right through 11 o'clock tonight, right there on Field Court and Broadway, just opposite UPAC. Stop by. Free admission. Food vendors of 1490 WKNY. That's the Midtown block party going on this evening till 11 o'clock. Here's Danny and the Juniors from 1958. Radio Kingston, 1490 WKNY, off my request line. Song that was recorded by two R&B doo-wop groups back in the 50s. That was the original from 1954 by The Charms. A year later, the Five Keys also recorded a hit version of Ling Ting Tong, 19 after 4 o'clock. So glad you could join us on the radio. I'm Warren Lawrence right here on Radio Kingston. Take us along, listen live online, radiokingston.org. Let's slow things down a bit. A pretty doo-wop ballad from the voice of doo-wop. Here's Kenny Vance and Need You. Heading back the summer of 1958 off my doo-wop request line, a classic from the Dan Lears. One Summer Nights, We Fell in Love. It's 24 after 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. You're with me, Warren Lawrence, till 6. At 6 tonight, don't forget John Blue here with another edition of Blues People, a great blues show. If you love blues music, tune in tonight following our show from 6 till 8 o'clock. Got your doo-wop favorites, and let's take you back to the early 60s. A group called the Knockouts, best known for their hit Darling Lorraine, but they recorded other songs too. Here's a great one from the Knockouts, a song called Rich Boy, Poor Boy. It was 1961, the Chantels, and Look in My Eyes, 4:33, and we are so delighted. I'm so happy to have Sonia Goring-Wilson with us right now. Sonia, one of the original founding members of the Chantels. They formed back in the 1950s. They're still performing today. And Sonia, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, it's just wonderful speaking with you.
And we're so delighted to have you with us. We play your music all the time, and just amazing. You've been with the group for more than 60 years.
Oh, yes, and we're still ticking.
Still ticking away. And,
and singing away, and enjoying and loving our audiences.
And, you know, you're one of those classic groups, one of the first all-girl groups from back in the 1950s to have a whole lot of success. Yes,
we were fairly successful. We had quite a few hits at that time, yes.
So let's talk about the Chantels and how you formed. Was it one of those groups that formed while you were in high school, or how did it happen for you?
Well, we actually started in grammar school.
Oh.
We were very, very young. I would say maybe the youngest was at least 12 13, 15 years old when we started. And we went to St. Anthony of Padua, and that was in the Bronx, in New York.
Were you all friends, Sonia?
Yes, we were friends. We were in choir together, being taught by the Marino sisters. So we sang Gregorian chant, and I think that had a lot to do with the sound that we actually developed over the years. So
you weren't actually influenced by gospel music like a lot of groups from that time?
I would say not, no.
Yeah.
Because we would, the Catholic church, they sang Latin and more of a sweeter, softer melody, so...
Were you surprised at the success and the great sound, the great harmonies your group had?
Yes, especially when we started out, we had no idea how successful the songs were going to be. Were going to be. It's actually, we were young, so we were more or less having fun, and then the songs we did turned out to be tremendous hit songs, and here we are. We had to leave grammar school and going to a special school, be taught by tutors at the time, some of us, and some were actually leaving high school, and some of us were graduating from grammar school. So we went on, and we did a lot of tours. We had to have tutors. So, it was just a fun time, but an amazing time for us, actually.
Sonia, you were a part of a fairly new genre of music called rock and roll music. What were people around you like? Did the older people, the parents and so forth, accept what you were doing?
No. Our parents, absolutely not. It was a struggle to even get them to... they really didn't even understand what we were doing, but it was something that we wanted to do, and I guess the record producers, they actually convinced them that... we were talented and we had something to offer. So they said, okay, we'll give it a shot. But they have to finish school, and that's what we did.
So who were the original members besides yourself? We know Arlene Smith, yourself, and who else?
There was Jackie Jackson, Renee Minus, who was also known as Renee Minus White, Lois Powell. And today there's Amy Ortiz with us, because, of course, Arlene went on and she wanted to do her solo. And the rest of us, we continued on with the name The Chantels.
So how did you become discovered? I was reading a guy by the name of Richard Barrett, who I think sang with the Valentines. Did he discover you girls?
Yes, he did.
How'd that happen?
Oh, walking down Broadway.
Okay. Or
5 little girls dressed all alike.
Yes. Did he hear you singing down Broadway?
Yeah, singing down on the corner of 57th Street and Broadway.
So then what happened?
And then I think one of the older girls saw these guys walking down on Broadway, and she recognized, she said, oh, that's the Valentines. And they were on the same side of the street as we were, and so we are dressed, and we ran up, we wanted to get autographs, and so we told them that we sang, and Richard Barrett was there, and he says, well, listen, sing something for me right now. And that's what we did. We sang for him, and he says, oh, my God, what do we have here? That was the beginning of it.
There was another group similar to you called the Bobettes. Were you friends with them?
Yes, we became friends with the Bobettes. After a while, they had a big hit, Mr. Lee, at the time, but we really became friends with the Bobettes at the Apollo Theater. We worked together there. They had a show, an all-girls show, and I believe the Bobettes were there on that show. Yes, really nice ladies.
Yeah. So, Sonia, where did the name the Chantels come from?
Oh, boy, Chantels, you're going really way back. The name Chantels comes from, we were, schoolgirls. We played basketball, Catholic school. We had CYO. We played basketball at the time. And so this particular evening, the Chantels wasn't even a name at the time. But we did, when we played basketball, we won the game. We played the school, St. Francis de Chantal. And that's where the name Chantels came from.
Oh, I see. Okay. So when the success started, were you just blown away? I mean, you were young girls. What was it like for you?
Very exciting, and actually it was lots of fun because we were young and we loved singing together.
And did you start?
And it was an awful lot of work at the same time.
Yeah. Did you get a lot of TV gigs? I'm sure you did.
I would imagine, yeah, for us, yes, we would. I think we did, yes. We at the time, American Bandstand was a very big TV show. So if you got on American Bandstand, you had a hit song on your hands at that time.
Yeah.
So,
We have Sonia Goring-Wilson with us, one of the founding members of the Chantels, a great group that has been around since the late 1950s, more than 60 years. So Sonia, that first song released, what a powerful song. It really showed how the voices of the Chantels were really there, a song called He's Gone. Tell us about that.
That's one of our favorite songs. Actually, when we perform, we're still doing He's Gone. He's Gone was like a start-off song for us. If we did He's Gone, we felt so comfortable. Even today when we sing, it's one of our favorite songs. But of course, the anthem for the Chantels is... Maybe.
Of course, the second hit record that just blew everybody away. I think it became a million seller.
Yes, it did. And we also had... which may have been, some people feel, I think it was even bigger. We had another song, I don't know if you remember, Look in My Eyes.
Well, that's the one we played just prior to speaking with you.
Right.
So that was a few years later in the early 60s. So what happened in between? Did you change record labels or what happened here?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did change the record labels.
Yeah. And of course, in between came other great songs like I Love You So and Every Night I Pray.
We had so many wonderful songs.
Yeah. And, we were talking about Richard Barrett before, and we play this all the time. What a gorgeous ballad, the song you did with Richard Barrett, Summer's Love.
Oh, Summer's Love, yes. Summer's Love, there's a great story behind that one. It was one of those songs that, you get in the studio, and he's playing away and he's singing, and I think it was Lois and myself. We got behind Richard, and we started the background behind Richard. And lo and behold, they put that song out. But actually, it was just two people in the background.
Really?
With Richard Barrett, yes. Okay. Yes.
Beautiful song, just gorgeous.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
It is.
Yeah.
We'll play that a little later. I want to go back to Maybe. Where did that song come from, and who wrote that song for you?
Richard Barrett wrote that song.
He did?
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're confused about who wrote that song, but Richard Barrett wrote that song. Yes.
And you have a pretty busy schedule. You're performing this fall. You have several gigs coming up that our listeners hopefully will get to and enjoy.
Yes, we're hoping some folks will come out and see us September 22nd. We're going to be, I think that's the closest we're going to be in that area. We're going to be in New Jersey.
Yes.
New Brunswick, New Jersey, at the State Theater on the 22nd. So we're hoping some of the people that's listening to us may take a ride down and from Kingston and come and see the Chantels. Not only Chantels, it's a big show.
Yeah.
A big rock and roll doo-wop show. The Flamingos, the Coasters, the Drifters, quite a few people. There's even a dynamic new singer, Kid Kyle.
Right, yes.
That's going to be on that show.
Yeah.
And the Belmont's going to be there, the Crest. So it's going to be a huge show.
And you'll get to see all these folks that maybe you haven't seen in years?
Well, we haven't seen them in quite a while, but we've seen some of them on the road.
So, Sonia, when you're out performing, do you feel like you're 18 again? It's got to be a great feeling.
It's wonderful. Our fans are so wonderful, great people. We meet them, and we usually have like a meet and greet. We go out and see the people and just love talking to them. And do we feel like we're 18 years old again? I would imagine so, in a sense.
Yeah. And this great sound we call doo-wop now. Back in the day, of course, there was no such word as doo-wop. It was rock and roll music.
Rock and roll.
But, this great doo-wop sound, what makes it so unique? And even a younger generation is really embracing this and loving it. I do this show on Saturday afternoons for 2 hours, and it's all doo-wop. And we get so many great calls, and folks love it.
Well, I think a lot of it is the melody, the words, the lyrics. They're songs that you can hold on to your partner and dance, rather than just just jump around. You could just actually hold your partner. And it brings back a lot of memories for awful lot of folks. So.
Yeah. Sonia, there's another one of your songs that we play a lot and get a lot of requests for. It might not have been one of the biggest, but it was one of the songs that came after Look in My Eyes, a song called Well, I Told You.
Yes. That was an answer to Ray Charles.
Oh, Hit the Road Jack, right?
Hit the Road Jack, yes.
It did fairly well, right?
Yes, it certainly did.
Yeah.
We loved doing that on stage. That was more or less up-tempo, because, the Chantels, we were known for doing a lot of ballads.
Yes.
So when we did Well, I Told You, it was just, this is our up-tempo time. It's time to dance and have fun on stage.
Yeah. So, Sonia, again, I think you mentioned it before, but who's in the group with you right now? Are you the only original, or are there others?
Oh, no. Lois Harris Powell is with us now, and we have Renee, minus White, and a young lady that we found that's with us, and she's been with us now for the past, 19, 20 years that she's been with us. Amy Ortiz Brink. So, yes, and she does a fabulous job with the Chantels.
So do you feel like, do you ever get the itch to record again, too?
Well, we have done CDs and so on, so we have recorded.
Nice. And I'm sure it's still got to be very hard to believe that it's been more than 60 years and you're still singing and the fans still come out and love you.
They still call for us. So as long as the fans are still there and they still love the Chantels, we'll be there.
Well, Sonia, we love the Chantels. We play your music and get requests every week. And continued success with the group. I hope you make 70, 80 years together. And what a delight to have you with us today. We're so glad you could take a little time out. And again, don't forget to check out the Chantels website for where they're going to be and all about their music and the group, thechantels.com. Sonia Goring-Wilson from the Chantels, delightful to have you with us. And I'm going to wrap it up with that beautiful song by the Chantels and Richard Barrett, Summer's Love. And again, thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Right. Bye-bye.
The song was first released in 1955 by the Penguins, became an instant classic. That's a remake from Johnny Maestro and the Crests and their version of Earth Angel. Again, we say thanks to Sonia Goring-Wilson from the Chantels for stopping by to chat with us. What a lovely lady. And boy, they're still singing and sounding great. The Chantels, check them out online, chantels.com. Doo-wop till 6, your request, 331-1490. These are the Flamingos and Golden Teardrops. 1956 classic Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, a very young Frankie Lyman, age 13 when he recorded that. And Why Do Fools Fall in Love? It's coming up on 5 o'clock. You're listening to Radio Kingston 1490 WKNY Kingston online, radiokingston.org. We begin hour 2 of Doo-Wop, and still plenty of time for your Doo-Wop requests right now, 331-1490. We'll play Name That Oldie later on in the hour. Here's your forecast for the remainder of this afternoon. Clouds, high in the upper 70s. Tonight, partly cloudy, areas of fog after midnight with a low in the low 60s. Sunday, partly sunny skies, slight chance of a shower in the afternoon, low 80s, and really warming up on Monday. Sunny skies on Labor Day. Chance of a shower thunderstorm in the afternoon, high about 90. Clouds right now, 77 degrees in Midtown Kingston. And let's begin the hour right now. Take you back to the year 1959. It's the charts. 1959, You're the Reason, and the charts. We're 3 minutes after 5 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. I'm Warren Lawrence. Don't forget the Midtown Kingston Block Party continues till 11 this evening, right here in Kingston, Field Court and Broadway, opposite the Ulster Performing Arts Center. It's all free. Admission is free. There are activities for the children, food vendors, live music as well. It's the Midtown Kingston Block Party till 11 o'clock. Stop by. The event co-sponsored by us right here, Radio Kingston, 1490 WKNY. Doo-Wop on the radio till 6 o'clock this evening, and your Doo-Wop request, 331-1490. 1955, the late Johnny Ace And that's Pledging My Love. It's 8 minutes after 5 o'clock, the original Solid Gold Weekend. It's the doo-wop portion of our show on the radio, Labor Day weekend. Thanks for sticking around, staying with us. We're with you till 6 tonight. John Blue with Blues People at 6, the great blues show from 6 till 8 right here on Radio Kingston. In the meantime, we've got those doo-wop request lines open, waiting for you as we take you back to the doo-wop years, the late 50s, the early 60s. Give us a shout on the request line. We'll play your favorites, 331-1490. These are the Imaginations. Da, da, da. 1957 group from Virginia. It's Rudy West and the Five Keys. And You Broke the Only Heart. It's about 14 now after 5 o'clock. Doo-wop on the radio, clouds outside, 77 degrees. We'll update your forecast in just a little bit. How about some doo-wop a cappella from a group called the Five Boroughs?
You're my heart's desire.
1960, great version of Over the Rainbow. It's the Mystics on your Saturday afternoon doo-wop, 18 after 5. We'll play Name That Oldie. Your chance to win coming up in just a little bit. I'm Warren Lawrence, till 6 from 1961. It's the Shirelles and Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? To know. 1963, it's Fleetwood's and the last one to know. It's 24 after 5. Let's update your forecast. Overnight cloudy skies, low in the lower 60s. For Sunday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, lower 80s. Cloudy tomorrow night, 70 for a low in Labor Day. Sunny skies, could see an isolated shower thunderstorm late in the day. High in the lower 90s, mostly sunny, hot on Tuesday. An isolated shower possible, lower 90s. Sunny and hot on Wednesday with a high near 90 degrees. But by the end of the week, Friday and Saturday, we're back in the 70s. Outside right now, cloudy skies, 77 degrees in Midtown Kingston. Doo-wop and your request, 331-1490. These are the 5 discs. Radio Kingston, it's Donnie and the Dreamers from 1962 and Memories of You. 28 minutes away from 6, one more chance to win. We've got Name That Oldie on the way in just a couple of minutes. I'm Warren Lawrence, till 6, doo-wop on the radio from 1963. These are the times. Here was 1959, Dion and the Belmonts, and that's Teenager in Love. Radio Kingston, 1490 WKNY. It's about 23 minutes away from 6 o'clock. Doo-wop on the radio, we've got you till 6 on this Saturday evening. Radio Kingston, 1490 WKNY. It's a Saturday afternoon, the original Solid Gold Weekend. With me, I'm Warren Lawrence. Always good to have you with us as we reminisce those golden years of rock and roll, specifically the doo-wop era from the 50s and the early 1960s. These are the Corvells.
Ring-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a, ring-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a
Matters and Hey Pretty Baby. And let's give you one more chance to win. Time for Name That Oldie right now. I've got the first 2 seconds of a classic doo-wop oldie. If you can identify the song for you, we have a gift certificate from the Cake Box Bakery and breakfast or lunch from the Home Plate Deli. If you haven't won in the last month, you can call in and play and win. Good luck, and here come your 2 seconds. 331-1490 right now to win on Name That Oldie, and good luck here on this Saturday afternoon. Radio Kingston doo-wop on your Saturday evening, 13 shy of 6. Gary Spire, our final winner of the night on Name That Oldie. He was Ray, came up with a Dupree's hit from back in the early 60s, and You Belong to Me. 1959, the Coasters off my request line, and why is everybody always picking on me? It's Charlie Brown, 9 away from 6 o'clock. Saturday on the radio, doo-wop right here. Our Solid Gold weekend underway on Warren Lawrence, and here's Johnny Maestro and the Brooklyn Bridge. It's Kenny Vance and the Planet Zones and Me Amore, 3 minutes away from 6 o'clock. I'm Warren Lawrence right here on the radio, and that's going to wrap up doo-wop. And you know what? I'm going to stick around for a little while and play some blues for you. John Blue is getting in a little bit late this evening. He'll be here later on, but let's start the show off in a couple of minutes. I've got some blues for you on the radio. If you love the blues, we don't want to ignore the blues on a Saturday night, so stick around. But let's wrap up doo-wop, as always, with the Elegance and Good Nights.